Good morning, I'm Nix from Triple E. Today I'm going to show you a stretch routine that's not too, it doesn't take too long, because sometimes we just need to get our body in alignment, and we just need to get it back to where it should be, and also loosen up a couple of things. Now, most of us will need to loosen up our hips, because today, in today's day, we sit quite a lot. Even if our jobs has to do with getting from A to B, you sit in a car, then you sit at a desk, then you sit in front of the computer, then you sit and watching your mobile phone, and so it's a lot of sitting, whereas we're not moving around. I mean, moving around, we're not moving our bodies around. Even if you stand, you're saying, but I'm a chef, I stand a lot. You're still in one position, and even though you might walk to go and pick something up, there's a lot of immobility that happens in the hip area and in the upper back area, and that is where we need to loosen things up a little bit, and that's why we get tight. And a lot of times that's why these nerves get pinched, because a lot of us, how many times we're holding the phone like this because we need to do other stuff, or you're carrying a child and that shoulder just keeps going up and the whole body is out of alignment. So, and that causes a lot of pain. So first thing that we need to do is, when we stretch, do it with a warmed up body. So now maybe you're going to think, oh my word, I'm going to have to go for a run or something. You don't have to do that much. You really do not have to do that much. Only if you move around a little bit, that's enough. And you can very easily warm your body up by just breathing into your fist. That easy, and doing a couple of exercises on your knees. Now, to do a couple of exercises on your knees, I would say get something like, this is just foam, so get something under your knees for some support. And all we're going to do is a couple of vacuums. Now, for you guys, if you don't know what a vacuum is, check out a tutorial of mine. I have a couple of them on different styles and different types of vacuums. So check it out before you do a vacuum, or if you think you might like to try it. It's a bit cold today and I haven't warmed up yet. I mean, we are entering winter right now, so I'm not going to pull up my top to show you what a vacuum is. I might do one and then you can see. But most of you that know me already, most of you that has joined and have subscribed to my channel would know exactly what a vacuum is and how to do it by now. I do, however, recommend that you start from the beginning when you learn that, but some people just pick it up and they have it easy. All right, so for this exercise, I would say to protect your knees, always, if you're doing something with bent knees, it's most of the times, 90% of the times, good to flex your feet. So tuck your toes in and kind of try and sit back on your heels and grip with them. Have your knees approximately hip width apart. And all that we're going to do is sit back, straight back. So try and keep your core nice and tight with a straight back and come up. Sit back, come up. And this is actually one of the exercises that I do. So we're just going to do this for a little bit. So it's about 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, and I can guarantee you your legs are going to be warmed up. It's something so simple that we can do, but keep in mind that you always want to try and keep your shoulders down. So instead of just doing this and going, oh, I can just, no, that's not going to work. So if you're not going to keep a good posture, then it's not going to do the thing it needs to do. So what I was going to say is, when I do sub training, I do this as part of a warm-up and as part of a training, because when you row, you can add your arms to warm up a little bit more. When you row, as if you have a paddle and you're paddling, then using your whole body to paddle, and you have to, each time you go down, crunch your core. So you a bit of a twisting movement here, going to the sides. You keep going. Every time you go to the side, you're crunching your abs, and that warms up the body. And I can feel, okay, you can see I've got my sleeves pulled up, so it does start warming up the body quite a lot. Let's go for a couple of breaths into your fist. Now, to have a couple of breaths into your fist, all you need to do is you can control how you breathe, how much air you take in, and how much air you breathe out by opening and closing your fist. Okay? So the more you oppose, the more your respiratory muscles has to work to get the air in or out, which means your core muscles work. And that is one of the things I use, breathing techniques I use when I train my clients and when I train myself as well. And for a warm up, especially if you want to do just a quick stretch session, this is a great warm up. Oh, wow, I actually did warm up quite a bit. So keep a good posture. Now, clench your butt cheeks nice and tight to push the hips forward so that you can have the natural, I'm going to show you from the side. So you can have like a natural kind of, so if I'm standing like this, I'm actually going to hunch over. So make sure if you have a mirror, that would be great. Make sure that you are pushing your hips forward, which causes you to clench those butt cheeks. So get them nice and tight. We're still working. So my inner thighs are working as well with the butt cheeks to be able to do that. And that helps me to open up the chest area and have a nice curvature in my lower back, which is the natural position. That means straight. Okay? And from here, you're just going to blow into your fist and breathe in into your fist. So breathe in, and you can control, again, by opening and closing your fist. We're just going to do this a couple of times. And try and really get as much air in as quick as possible. So in about 4 counts, 5 counts, you want to breathe in. And then when you breathe out, you do it a lot longer so that you don't get dizzy. So about 2 counts more breathing out. If you find it too easy, close your fist more, so it's harder to blow the air out. Another thing is when you breathe out, you're going to feel that your rib cage needs to work quite a lot. So concentrate on what's happening around your rib cage area and your core. You're going to have to press the core, and you're going to feel that the core is going to do this, right? So if you're a postnatal mommy, this is perfect for you as part of your training. I would say 5 months after you've given birth. 4 is a bit still close to after giving birth, but from about 5 months after you've given birth, if you've been doing some hyperpressives and perineal work, this is perfect because it just locks up the core. Try it and you'll feel it. I'm going to go for 5. Okay, so that's 5, and that's quite more than enough so that you can now warm up your body. Now we can go for a couple of vacuums. What we've done is we've warmed up our legs, we've warmed up our core area, we've warmed up our respiratory muscles. The next thing we're going to do is a couple of vacuums. With the vacuums, the only thing you do is you open your rib cage without any air. So when you're in apnea, respiratory apnea, so you're not breathing in anymore, so you're without air, just open your rib cage and feel how that feels. And I'm going to do it from my knees. I call this the Schwarzenegger vacuum. Breathe in and breathe out. Go for a vacuum. Another one. Okay. Now for that stretching, you can stay with the little support that you have on your knees. Stay right there. We're just going to do a little bit of twisting in the back and loosening up the shoulders a little bit. So I have two methods that I'm doing this with, and both of them feels absolutely fantastic. So most of you know this one. You can either have your knees, your toes tucked in, or you can have them flat. That's completely up to you. When you actually come underneath, you put your hand underneath your shoulder, make sure that your bum is pushing back a little bit, and you're going to want to release the lower back, which gets you underneath a lot more. So you come underneath, have your shoulder on the floor, move the other hand around a little bit and look up to the ceiling. And immediately you can feel, oh yeah, that feels good, that feels good. And you just hang there for a little bit. Try and keep your hips so that they don't go to the side, so they don't hang over. So try and pull them back so that they're level. And then the second one you do, it's going to move over. The second one you do, you grab onto your hand. So the first one we are here. The second one, you put the lower hand a little bit higher, so the whole shoulder opens up. And then you put the other hand on top, because now I'm leaning on my shoulder, and then you pull back. So my head lifts up a little bit, but I'm using my hips and my whole body to pull back while my upper hand is gripping. And you can feel how the shoulder is opening while you're getting a little bit of a twisting stretch in the lower back. And then you simply sit back, because this actually brings you quite far. I'm going to show you from the other side. So again, from all fours, you just put your one hand underneath, get onto your shoulder, move the other hand, look up to the ceiling, and just hang. Try and get your hips level. You'll feel, as soon as you try and move your hips, you'll feel there's some pulling and stretching. Now the second one, put your hand up a little bit more, and then pull back. So I'm literally lifting off by pulling back. And you can feel, whoa, this is all going into the armpit. And try and relax the arm. Sometimes we hold on with a muscle, tightening a little bit more instead of releasing it. And then you can simply sit back, okay? The next one that we're going to do is one that's very easy to do. And it's simply sitting cross-legged. A lot of you know this is one of my favorites. It's a very simple thing to do. A lot of people cannot even sit cross-legged. Just sit cross-legged, but instead of having your feet quite close to you, have them a little bit further away, and just lean over and have your elbows by your knees. Now, as soon as your elbows are over your knees, you can use that as leverage. You can pull yourself forward and try and straighten your back. So ultimately, instead of just rounding over, you're trying to straighten your back and have your neck in line with your spine, and kind of wiggle your upper body from side to side. And you will find there's a lot of tension in the lower back that's being released. And you can grab a little bit lower than, below the knees. So you can try and kind of climb closer to your legs. Oh yeah, that feels good. And then the last one we're going to do, so this is very simple actually to do whenever you feel tired, anytime during the day. You don't need to go for a run, you don't need to go for a walk. You can just get up from your chair, go and find a space and a spot where you can do this. The other one is having one heel. When you have your legs straight, have one heel just under your hamstring, just sticking out from your hamstring. Your feet are flexed. And then the other one is in front. So from the front, it will be, the one heel is, I can feel it sticking just underneath from where the femur is, just out from underneath it, okay, the heel. It doesn't have to be that precise, but you will feel you're either comfortable or uncomfortable. And the other one is just above the other knee, just in front of me, and literally just doing the same thing. You're trying to get your elbows underneath your knees as leverage, and you're trying to straighten your back. And again, you can kind of wiggle your upper body. So the legs are going to stretch in different places. And then from here, you can put your hands out front. Keep your neck in line with your spine. And then you lift up your hands. So there you're going to feel quite a lot more stretching going on, especially in one leg more than the other one, maybe in the one glute more than the other one. And then walk yourself back up with a straight back and swap legs. So first one, the heel sticks out from underneath the hamstring, and then the other one just comes forward. So I have one foot is a lot closer, as if I'm going to cross my legs, but I'm not crossing my legs. This one is more forward. This is perfect for people that cannot cross their legs. If you have difficulty crossing your legs and doing that previous stretch, start with this one, but this one also gets you a lot deeper. And again, I'm just getting my elbows to kind of lock under my, I can feel one hip is a lot tighter. And this is where you realize, okay, so one side is not in line with the other side. One side is a bit worse than the other side. Again, wiggle your upper body a little bit, just to loosen up. And then put your hands out front. And then try and straighten your back the whole time. That is one of the secrets, to keep your neck in line with your spine and trying to straighten your back, trying to kind of actually arch your back. As soon as you try and arch your back, lift up your hands. So that adds a lot more pressure on the hip area. I can feel that, definitely. And then walk yourself back up. And that's it. Quick, easy, and you loosened up and you're ready to go for your day. Right. I'm going to put a lot more of these quick and easy kind of stretches coming up, especially now in winter time. We do need to loosen up our bodies. We do need to help it a little bit more. So I'll be adding some of these up, and I hope you join me. Subscribe to my channel, and you'll know what's going on. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.